Welcome to this podcast. Several times a week, along with our other podcasts, I'm going to start sharing with you some 5-minute activation strategies. When I mentioned this on my Instagram and Facebook, hundreds of you gave me some topics of what you'd like to receive. So I'm going through those right now. And I want to help you with specific topics that you actually could listen to these 5-minute podcasts, activate whatever it is I share with you, and get some results right away, not only in your business, but in your personal life, maybe your fitness. Many of you talk to me about anxiety, procrastination, etc. So let's jump in. One of the things you had asked me was to do a podcast on procrastination. In all of my studies, hundreds of hours of studying how the mind works, how productivity happens, and one of the reasons I have been referred to as one of the top high performance coaches is this: procrastination is actually a war with wanting to either make everything perfect or obsessing about the details. Now, I know my fact finders out there are going to say to me, girl, you got to obsess with the details. And my creative people are going to say to me, I never obsess with the details. Come I'm procrastinating? This is always going to look different on each one of us, and it's not going to rewire the way that we were made. But here's the deal: procrastination is a way to hold back because something else is significantly stronger in our belief system. Studies have showed, scientists have proved, and whether you're spiritual or not is irrelevant because this has actually been proven in scientific labs by how brain waves and the parasympathetic nervous system, et cetera, operates. We have seen that you really can't get an action without a belief. So, in order to change an action that's not serving us, like procrastination, we got to dive in deep to what is the belief. I struggled with wanting everything to be perfect. So I would put things off until I felt like I could do them perfectly. And as we all know, that never happened because my standard was so high, no one could ever get to that place. So it's possible procrastination is not your problem. It could be that you're struggling with perfectionism. Now, the root of perfectionism can actually be insecurity because sometimes we lack something, we start to feel insecure, and before we know it, we put a standard that is impossible to achieve over ourselves or maybe even those around us. And before we know it, we're sidetracked here, sidetracked there, trying to navigate the perfect details, and we're procrastinating. So, how can you deal with this insecurity and actually get yourself into performing more? One of the ways is something that I actually talk a lot about with my clients in my inner circle mastermind. And that is that make sure you know enough about what you're going to do so that it doesn't take so much intentional thinking. So, for example, in a business, we want to make sure. A lot of people make this mistake. They think they want to make sure I'm doing social media content and email content and building a website and being the hostess with the mostest and doing the best videos, et cetera. But actually, the knowledge that we need is to go into the deep end where our client is. Where is their urgent pressing problem happening? What does that feel like for them? We must go full submersion in with our client in order to get the information that we need that's actually going to fuel us to get more confidence. And the more confident you are, the less likely you're going to be to put something off. So we know that getting more knowledge will help with this problem of procrastination. This even happens in the gym because one of the reasons people will delay in going to the gym or they aren't consistent is because they lack the knowledge that you really don't have to push for hours and give 500% of your all every single day. They lack the knowledge that consistency in a few basic things actually creates strength, which actually fuels the muscles and even the brain and the norepinephrine levels and all those happy hormones to want to come back more. But if you have this wrong belief and a lack of knowledge that the reason people look like that is because they spend 2, 3, 4, 5 hours a day at the gym, you'll go into the gym and kill yourself. And before you know it, you're so sore you can hardly walk. And then you're putting it off. And then before you know it, all your best laid plans are gone. And it simply was a lack of the knowledge of what it actually was going to take. I actually weaned myself off of OxyContin and prednisone. I battle Crohn's disease and a couple other autoimmune conditions. And one of the things that caused me to hesitate in doing this was a belief, and what I thought was true because it's everybody was telling me, that I was going to experience horrific pain. I mean, it was going to be worse than even the chronic pain I was dealing with daily. And so not wanting to feel that and thinking, okay, how does someone humanly deal with more pain than what I was dealing with? I never walked it out. But when I began to go into the deep end, if you will, of studying the way pain works and the variables of pain and how trauma can cause pain and how even the opiates can cause pain and how inflammation can cause pain and even environments and temperature and barometric pressure can cause pain, my confidence in being able to build a protocol made for me that actually I've helped a lot of people with as well was going to help me wean off. And I did. I was never addicted to it, but my body was very tolerant. And so I was going to have the same physiological responses. I'm happy to tell you that because of the knowledge that I got, and I could act it out with confidence, I no longer had to procrastinate. And I've been completely off opiates and prednisone for over 3 years now. Here's the thing. Rather than thinking what I'm doing, I keep putting stuff off. I keep putting stuff off. I keep putting stuff off. I keep getting distracted. I want you to look at it this way. Well, the reason I'm putting stuff off is because I lack the knowledge that is actually going to make me confident. That's actually going to give me the courage to do this. So spend the time. I want to close with this. I have a standard where I will not get into a conversation with someone, a debate with someone, or an argument with someone about a topic, unless, of course, they've spent at least 25 hours studying it. When I talk about cannabis, when I talk about small business, when I talk about women, when I talk about the gym, etc., it's because I've spent hours studying it. And I don't want to do or talk about it with people who are just going off their opinion, just their emotions, just their surmising, or just regurgitating what they heard from somebody else. But what's interesting is because I've studied, and with cannabis, I've studied hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours on it, just like I did when I got off of opiates. My confidence is bullish. It's not arrogant, but it's unstoppable. It's extremely courageous because I have that knowledge that I have activated, and now I won't hold myself back. I hope this helps you, and I look forward to doing more of these very short and sweet, powerful podcasts just for you. Talk to you soon.